It is rare for multi-billion-dollar companies to apologize, especially when they're among the world's biggest conglomerates. The bigger they are, the harder it is for them to admit mistakes. But today, Samsung is saying sorry. The company, in fact, has issued a formal apology to its investors. Why? Because of its disappointing results, so much so that its executives are warning about a crisis. Samsung has reported its quarterly numbers. It made a profit of $6.8 billion, a profit which should be good news. But according to experts, it isn't. They were expecting better numbers, and Samsung failed to deliver because of its semiconductor business. In fact, the head of Samsung's semiconductor division has said as much. He's admitted that they fell short. I have a statement from him. Listen to this. These are testing times, he says. We have caused concerns about our technical competitiveness, with some talking about the crisis facing Samsung. So what is this crisis facing Samsung? It's not being able to churn out enough chips. That is the problem. Samsung makes a special kind of chip. It is used to train AI models. Companies like NVIDIA depend on this chip. They use it in their AI products. Now, NVIDIA would like to buy more of these chips. It is, after all, the world's largest supplier of AI components, including processors, the kind that power popular AI models like ChatGPT. NVIDIA's processors are made using Samsung chips. So in an ideal scenario, Samsung would have benefited immensely from the AI boom. NVIDIA's products are in high demand the world over. The more processors they produce, the more money Samsung should be making. But that's not the case, because Samsung is not being able to provide enough chips, forcing NVIDIA to turn to a competitor, a company called SK Hynix. This company is filling the gap for NVIDIA, and Samsung has admitted to this. It has confessed that deliveries are running late on their part. And that's the first problem. Samsung is also falling behind TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, TSMC. It's the world's largest chip maker. It competes with Samsung. Both these companies can make customized chips for clients. Samsung has the resources and the heft to challenge TSMC. But on this front too, it has fallen short. Its shareholders are unhappy with this. The stock has been falling steadily. This year, it has lost over 20% of its value. Long story short, Samsung needs to get its act together. It is one of the biggest tech and electronics companies in the world. But in South Korea, it's much more than a company. Samsung is what they call a chaebol. What's a chaebol? It's a term for large South Korean conglomerates, usually controlled by a single family. These chaebols dominate the country's economy. They hold outsized wealth, and they're also among the biggest employers. Companies like LG and Hyundai, they're all part of this club. But Samsung is by far the biggest of them all. It accounts for around 15% of South Korea's economy, this one company. So Samsung is critical for the country and for its economic stability. But it has been going through a rough patch. Its financial results have failed to impress investors. There have been protests. Workers have gone on strike, first in South Korea and then recently in India as well, demanding better pay and working conditions. Last month, Samsung also announced sweeping layoffs, impacting up to 30% of their workers overseas. The thing is, this company is struggling with AI, the biggest tech breakthrough in recent history. And the company is also promising to course correct, to overhaul its setup. But it won't be easy because market demand is also slowing down. Big tech is becoming more cautious with their AI investments. Their previous bets are yet to pay off. They've already spent billions of dollars on AI. Now they'll have to tread with caution. While the technology does hold promise, the timeline for the returns is hard to predict. So tech giants are expected to go slower or to stagger their investments. And that's bad news for companies like Samsung, because less investment means less demand for Samsung chips. You could say it's the perfect storm for them. It has fallen behind competition and new business is shrinking. Samsung needs to course correct urgently. Its future may depend on it.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.